So guys, today I will show you how to make pakora my style. So here I have just 1 onion, 4 potatoes, 4 garlic cloves, the same amount of ginger, and about 7 to 8 chili peppers depending on how spicy you like it. The spices that I put in it is like half a tablespoon of turmeric, this chabli kebab seasoning that I have, like about 1.5 tablespoons. Then you add salt, like table salt to taste, however much you like it. And then you're gonna need this grinder to grind up everything. And this is what I use, the flour that I use to mix everything in. Usually I would use all-purpose flour, but since I started using this flour, I realized that it absorbs less oil, like it says here, low oil absorb. And you can get it from most multicultural stores, maybe even Food Basics. And this is it. This is what I'll be using. You could add coriander if you have fresh leaves, just chop it up, put it in there, but I do not. So this is what I'll be making it with, and it'll be delicious. So here's my spices: just salt, the 1.5 tablespoon of chabli kebab flavor, and the turmeric. And then I'm going to go ahead, use the little grinder here that I have, this one, and add in the potatoes and everything else except the onions, which I will show you how I'm gonna chop it. And we will add no water to this when we're mixing the flour in, because the potato and the tomatoes water is going to come out. Sorry, the potato and the onion water is going to come out, so we do not want it to be too watery, which will splash in the oil once it's frying. So here is my ginger and my garlic and my onion, green chilies, just chopped up roughly. I'm gonna put it in here, and then I'm gonna use the shredder and do the same thing to my potatoes. And the green chilies, I didn't shred it, I just chopped it roughly with my knife. But the ginger and garlic I did shred because I want it to be smaller pieces. So this is what it looks like once it's taken out of the shredder. And I'm just going to add, this is, you can add more potatoes and onions depending on how many people you want to feed, but this is just for 2 people, so I'll have some left over maybe for another snack for tomorrow. But this is it. And also you can add more potatoes, onions, ginger, garlic, and chilies to your taste, how spicy you want it, for how many people you'll be making it. And then this is how I cut the onions, and then you just go like this before you add it into the potatoes. And then I would add about 1/2 cup of flour to 1 cup depending on how I want the consistency. I do not want it to be too watery, and at the same time I do not want it to be too lumpy, so it's a texture in between. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this to the potatoes and then start mixing it with the flour. 1/2 cup of flour to 1 cup of flour depending on how I like the consistency, and I'll show you guys the consistency, what I mean by that. And also don't add water, because if you think it's too thick after you add 1/2 cup of flour and are mixing it, I would say wait about 15 minutes, come check on it, and then you will see that some water has come out, and then you can mix it at that time and see if you still need more flour or not, but usually you should be good. So now I'm going to mix it, and it's really important that you mix it all the way in like this. I have not added any water. And you're gonna keep mixing it until everything is mixed thoroughly, and then we're gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes before we fry it, so we see if any extra water came out. If extra water did come out, then we're gonna add a bit more flour to go ahead and fix that consistency. And this flour is a bit sticky because it is the flour is called basin, that's why it's a bit sticky. It's not normal flour, I think it's chickpea flour, that's what basin means. So I'm gonna keep on mixing it, guys, until it's the consistency that I want it to be. So guys, at the end, this is the consistency. I'm not adding any more water. I'm gonna wait and see if any more water comes out, then I will add, sorry, I meant I'm not gonna add any more flour. I'm gonna wait and see if any water comes out, then add flour. And I have not added water again. The point is that we don't want to add too much flour, because if you add too much flour, then it's not going to be fluffy and oil free. It's going to absorb too much oil and be very clummy and not crunchy, which is not what we want. So this is it, guys. Now I'm gonna wait for 10 to 15 minutes to see what happens, and then if it's the consistency we want, then we can go ahead and start frying it. So guys, here it is. This is the consistency at the end, and I'm just using a spoon, the two spoons together, to make the amount that I want, like this for example, and then just going ahead and popping it in the oil. Right now my oil is really hot. I had it cranked up, so I brought it down to 4 because I do not want the outsides to be golden and the inside to be raw. And between 3.5 to 4 is like a really good temperature to make sure that the outside is golden brown and the inside is also golden brown. And this is what we're gonna continue to do until it's done. Once they are cooked, they're gonna float up a little. Then you can turn the other side and continue cooking. Each side takes about 3 to 4 minutes, I would say, depending on how golden brown you want the color to be on the outside. And this is basically it. We're gonna keep doing this until we're done with everything. So guys, this is my first batch and it is done. So what I'm going to do is take these out. You see, this is the color. Try to focus. Okay. So then I'm gonna take them out and put them in here. Let the excess oil drop. Try to get any of the pieces left in the oil so that the oil doesn't become black. And here it is. So I'm gonna leave it in here for like about a minute for the excess oil to come out, and then from that we'll put it on here to take out any of the remaining oil. And then right now we can go ahead and add a new spoon, and you control how big you want your servings to be. So usually I use both of the spoons together as if I'm like making, you know, an ice cream scoop. So right now I'm just showing it like this to you guys because, you know, obviously I can't use both hands. And you can fit 6 to 7 in there depending on how small or big you make it. And I just usually like to put it on the sides first. And just make sure you mix in all the ingredients so you get a bit of the chili, garlic, everything. I'm putting it in there. And you see, it was really quick and fast. And this could be made under 30 minutes if you prep it super fast. I'm going to put one more in this corner, and here we go, guys. And you see how the oil is like really the right temperature right now, and that's exactly what we want for it to cook properly. And these ones are done from here. I'm going to go ahead, take them and put them here. And here we go, guys. So this is what you want all of them to look like, to end up looking like. This golden brown, crunchy, and you see it's soaking up some of the excess oil. That's what we want. And this basin flour that I used, it sucks up very less oil, which is why it makes the pakoras very fluffy and tasty. And so guys, we're gonna just keep doing this until everything in here is done. Or if you don't want to cook all of it today, you can leave it in the fridge covered up in a container and use it the next day, but don't leave it in the fridge for more than 2 days. And then of course I'm gonna serve it with my famous chutney that I made. This time it's mostly tomatoes, so it goes in really well with the pakoras. And you can feed it with anything else, sriracha, hot sauce, ketchup, anything that you like, sour cream, yogurt sauce. And that's it, guys, from my kitchen to yours. Here's my second batch, almost ready. And this is a very easy recipe. Usually we may make it a lot during you know, special occasions, during Eid, during Ramadan, during family gatherings where we just want like something hot and sweet. and spicy at the same time and crunchy. This is like a substitute to chips, you know, for like Afghan, Pakistani, Indian people. And this is it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Here it is, guys. Gonna just keep adding more and more, and they're just becoming really, really good and delicious and tasty. And don't forget to serve it with my chutney, and the recipe is also on my YouTube channel. Enjoy, everyone.